Last week, the CEO of NPR was on Capitol Hill to get grilled by members of the House and Senate about bias at National Public Radio and the role of taxpayers in funding it.
NPR also promoted a book called In Defense of Looting. Do you think that that's an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars?
I'm unfamiliar with that book, sir, and I don't believe that was at my time at NPR.
You tweeted that you read that book, but...
Conservatives have argued that NPR and PBS represent one more way the left has diverted tax dollars from serving the interests of taxpayers towards promoting political agendas that are incredibly divisive. DOGE has had an incredibly effective first few months in changing that conversation and taking a hatchet, a chainsaw, or in many cases a scalpel to those instances of fraud, waste, and abuse that, again, in so many cases are working against the interests of the American people. We talked at length about the Department of Education and the fact that DOGE, both working with the new Department of Education leadership, is getting so much of that funding out of a political process into a way that actually helps students and teachers around the country. There was a really great story last week. Bret Baier sat down with Elon and the DOGE team. I highly recommend watching it. Here's a quick clip of that.
The federal government can't pass an audit. It doesn't know where the money's going. So what we're talking about is just like being able to pass an audit. It will enable taxpayers to know where the money is going and know that their hard-earned tax dollars are being spent well.
As we've talked about here a number of times, it's so valuable for DOGE to go out and make the case for how the cuts they're recommending actually help the American people and take our tax dollars out of things that they would overwhelmingly disagree with. Whether it is with the Department of Education, where our tax dollars are sort of being sliced and diced through this bureaucracy buffet. Instead of going to help teachers and students in schools around the country, they're going to these teachers' unions, special interests that are not actually helping students. Or whether it's NPR, where so much of our money is going to politically active, politically aggressive coverage that we don't always agree with. DOGE is doing incredibly important work here, changing the conversation about how our tax dollars are being spent.